Hey wild ducks. Welcome to our technology podcast. It's my pleasure to introduce the avatar of your host, Jerry Cuomo.
Thank you, RJ. You're looking at the inner workings of a quantum computer. Pretty impressive, I must say. Today, Jerry is on site at the IBM Research Lab, talking about quantum computing with Scott Crowder, a leader on the IBM Quantum team. Listen in on part one of this two-part interview of Thinking Quantum. Now over to Jerry and Scott.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wild Ducks podcast. I'm here with a friend and colleague for some number of years, Scott Crowder. Welcome. Sure. Yeah, so I'm actually at my alma mater. It's where I started my career at IBM, here at IBM Research in Yorktown Heights, New York. And look what we have in the background here, IBM Quantum. Yeah, inside of a quantum computer. Beautiful. Try to be careful.
This one's not good.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, Scott, thanks for coming on the show again. And I have a opening question. And there's a connection here with, I hear a rumor about an upcoming book that may have a combination of a technical and a kind of spy-fi novel. So channel your best Tom Clancy, or Jack Ryan, or maybe even James Bond and Ian Fleming. So if you were writing a screenplay on quantum computing, what might some of the scenes be like?
Oh, that's a good question. You definitely need the fancy looking chandelier.
Chandelier in the back. Would it be
At some point it would have to blow up.
Okay, but would it be a Q-Day angle, or would it be someone solving some?
Yeah, I think it would be some sort of material discovery kind of thing.
Okay, like a new drug or
15 minutes to figure out how to get the antidote.
Okay, all right. 15 minutes. All right. Well, on a quantum computer, that maybe. Let's go back. I've watched some of your interviews before, and I love the way you talk about this 1940s moment, and you talk about transfer yourself back in time, and there are vacuum tubes as the state of the art. So tell us a little bit about this being a moment like that. Why do you see it that way?
I think it's kind of a transformational moment in terms of this new computational tool. I mean, we kind of think 1947, all of a sudden computers popped into existence and humans didn't have any tools to help them compute before.
Right.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we've been around IBM's around 100 years. It was around before.
That's right.
So this is a new computational tool that we're trying to figure out what is the best way to use this new tool. And we've got some ideas already. People come with algorithms already, but it's kind of like the 40s in that there's probably going to be a huge blossoming of algorithmic development. How do you use this new math? Well, at least a computer that can run this math that we could run before.
So you're saying the fundamentals are starting to establish.
Yeah, the fundamentals are starting to establish. The systems are going to get more and more powerful. They're going to unlock more and more use cases. And we're going to develop more and more algorithms to let us use this new computation tool more efficiently.
Okay.
So it's going to unlock applications that we aren't currently thinking.
Yeah, I certainly agree. And let's talk about the computer itself. Maybe there's a reference point recently with AI and GPUs, the use of graphical processors. Where does quantum fit in? I think you have been vocal, and I agree that it's not quantum or classical. It's hybrid. So tell us more about how the actual computers are evolving and their relationships.
Yeah, so fundamentally, we've been doing with CPUs or GPUs, basically binary arithmetic in these classical computers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do amazing things with binary arithmetic.
Yes.
Truly amazing.
Yeah.
Think about it. Adding zeros and ones you can do is
Right.
really amazing. But you can't compute everything efficiently. Adding zeros.
Right.
So about 45 years ago, people came up with this idea of let's use quantum mechanics, come up with a couple more instructions, add that into my instruction set, create this new quantum information science, So I can do math, different math on a quantum computer than I can on using binary arithmetic.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like a GPU in the sense that you're not going to use it to do everything.
Right.
You're going to use it to do the subroutines that it's good at.
Right.
Like, so
You're not going to be serving web traffic from it or processing.
or doing arithmetic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The simple example, you're not
Yeah.
going to do binary arithmetic with it because you've got something that's really, really good at doing binary
That's right.
arithmetic.
That's right.
You're not going to do like simple image manipulation, matrix multiplication because you've got GPUs that are
That's
really good
right.
at it.
Yeah.
So, but what you are going to do on it is the kinds of math that those first two things suck.
Mhm.
Right? And the usual example people give is cryptography. Because they get conceptually like, oh yeah, if binary arithmetic was good at solving everything, then there'd be no
That's right. When you,
security.
yeah.
So it's math like that quantum computers are going to accelerate. It's called linear algebra. It's like linear algebra over exponential spaces if you want to go into the geeky weeds of it. But you can use that kind of math to come up with algorithms that are better at simulating nature, doing optimization, some forms of machine learning, partial differential equations.
Yeah. I want to get into one particular algorithm.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. But before we do that, we have this thing behind us.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, the first thing you say is, wow, what a computer. Like, it's beautiful from a design perspective. But that's not necessarily the computer, right? It's a piece of the computer.
So the building block that you need to start is quantum data.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing that holds a quantum state and allows you to manipulate a quantum state. So basically, something that is a linear superposition, 0 in one state that you can entangle with other qubits together to get spooky action and distance kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
don't need to go into the weeds, but that sits at the bottom of the locally the fridge that isolates it from the rest of the universe. So then you need to get the signals in now. And it's kind of like a software-defined unit. It's not like you've got an arithmetic unit hard-coded in silicon. You just have a sea of qubits. And the way that you send instructions is you sing to them with a certain microwave frequency for a certain amount of time to tell them what to do. And that's why you
pulses.
little pulses. They're going up and down those wires. And then the rest of the computer is the control electronics that sing to your qubits and then get the signal back and translate that back into zeros and ones. And more classical servers that basically hold your state, do the pre-processing of the process.
Great.
Put all that together, and you got
All right. And it's a good looking one, but it's not going to be a laptop anytime soon.
probably.
Okay. So I alluded to my favorite quantum algorithm so far. And it's Shor's up. And just to think in the 90s how he was conceiving this really before there were even solid demonstration. So it's pretty impressive that he thought through this, but it's also scary at the same time when he was tilting it. So needless to say, with a little bit of cryptography in my background, in fact, in this very building, one of the things I worked on in the late 80s was random number generator, right? Which, is kind of a big piece of cryptography. And so I ventured, like every quantum textbook out there, to factor 15 and with 2.
Right.
And found, especially preparing it for a college textbook, so you're trying to explain things as best you can, and then getting it to work in a simplified form, only to find out, and sitting back, that, okay, we were factoring like a 2-digit number. RSA has 600 digits.
Yep.
How many qubits do I need in a practical sense? Well, way more than the best systems currently have. So can you frame where we are today?
Yep. Yeah. So I think there's two levels in the answer. So true Shor's algorithm factoring very large numbers is a very complex program to run relative to all the other running. So for Shor's algorithm applied to cryptographically relevant things, you need 10,000 qubits plus.
And that's
the debate.
And that's logical or
I think
with error correction or with
yeah. So that's roughly the number of qubits.
Right. Okay.
And you can debate that on a factor of 10. So it's not
Okay.
a small factor of 10 times higher than that. The other direction, no.
Yeah. Okay.
But more importantly, you need to run very, very long programs to get the accuracy.
Right.
So overly simplistically, in a quantum computer, you can think of two axes. One of them is how big is the register size? Like school here a little bit, but how many qubits do you have that you can program? And then the other one is how long will the programming can run? Right. So today we've got quantum computers that are on order of 100 qubits large. So ours are 156, 120, that range.
Nice.
And right now you can run about 5,000 to 10,000 2-qubit gate instructions.
Okay.
From a program like with times length.
Got it.
Okay. Right. So on order of 100 by 100.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Okay.
That is way, way short of what you need to do
That's right.
for cryptographic result. Okay. So to get a cryptographic result, you need basically about 10 times, something like that. And you need much, 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 much longer.
Right.
So if you look at our roadmap, for the next couple of years, we will be at like hundreds to thousands and tens of thousands of instructions. When you get to 2029, we introduce the ability to do error correction. But fundamentally, that just means for true fault tolerant, it means the ability to, while you're running the program, detect the error, correct the error, and keep running.
Okay.
And when we do that, we'll get to the point where we can run 100 million instructions. When you fast forward to the mid-2030s, you just continue to extrapolate what we're doing. From a starting point of view, we'll be able to run billion.
Okay.
That's where you get to the point where you're like,
All
we're
right.
getting pretty damn close to Shor's. Extrapolate a little bit more, 2035, where we say if we continue on the roadmap, 2035 will be cryptographic development.
Wow. Okay.
Also telling people do not wait, because that assumes no improvement in algorithms. That assumes that people aren't going to throw trillions of dollars and just...
That leads into my next question of kind of the two sides of Q-Day and preparation.
Yeah.
And the two sides really meaning, can I generate cryptographic keys with a quantum computer or use quantum safe cryptography, post-quantum cryptography now?
Yeah.
Right. So let's look at both sides of that.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the short answer is you need to change your asymmetric cryptography theory.
Yeah.
Right? Because at some point it's going to get toast. The bad news is that if somebody is taking all the data that's being sent over the public internet today and putting it on storage, which probably is not.
Right.
Those courses are well out of the bar.
Yeah.
So at some point, somebody is going to be able to break the asymmetric cryptography, take the private key, and then go find all the data that was sent with those keys, unlock it, and it will become full.
Yeah.
That's kind of like horse out of the barn, or they have the long road. So if you want to close the barn doors between now and 2035 so there are no more horses leaving the barn, you should go change your asymmetric cryptography sooner rather than later. So that's the first news.
Okay.
Good news, NIST has new standards, implement them.
Okay.
As a society, we just got to get it all done and get it done. Can you use quantum entanglement to enhance security? Yes. But it's not sufficient nor it is necessary.
Okay.
So you got to do the first one.
Okay.
Second one is optional. Like if you're like freaking out and like want to make sure nobody's snooping the line between me and you,
Yes.
then you can use.
You can assume they are.
Then you can use quantum entanglement to make sure they get no information.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So you can add another layer on top of it using quantum mechanics.
Okay.
But again, you gotta do the first one.
All right, everybody. You're listening. Let's pause for a second, and we'll be right back.
Hope you enjoyed the first part of the conversation with Scott Crowder. You just heard Scott compare today's quantum era to the 1940s of classical computing, and outline where quantum systems may eventually accelerate cryptography, chemistry, optimization, and machine learning. We also covered Shor's algorithm and why organizations should begin preparing now for a post-quantum cryptography world. You may have also picked up on the fact that Jerry is at work on a new book, Think Quantum, where these ideas are explored further through hands-on experiments, code, circuits, and practical examples for curious builders and software engineers. You can visit wildducks.us to join the free early access list. Early readers will receive draft chapters, updates, and occasional behind-the-scenes material as the book continues to evolve. Stay tuned for part 2 of Jerry's conversation with Scott, where they look ahead to quantum computing's growing real-world impact, including cybersecurity, workforce skills, AI-assisted programming, and emerging applications beginning to move beyond the research lab. Till next time,